My beloved child, listen to me closely tonight. You are not here by accident. This moment did not simply fall into your life. The fact that you are breathing right now, that your eyes have reached this message, is evidence of my hand upon you. You may have thought you made it this far because you were strong enough, stubborn enough, or lucky enough. You may have believed that you survived certain seasons because you learned how to keep going when your heart was empty. But my beloved child, there were many days when your strength was not enough, and I carried you quietly. I kept you when you were tired in ways no one noticed. I kept you when your smile looked normal but your spirit felt worn down. I kept you when you moved through the day like a person doing what had to be done, while deep inside you wondered how much longer you could continue. You did not fall apart because I was near. There were mornings when you woke up heavy, not inspired, only trying to make it through another day. I saw you then. There were nights when your thoughts would not settle, when worry walked around your mind like a restless stranger. I saw you then too. You were never unseen, even when hidden. My child, the breath within you is not meaningless. It is not a random delay before the end of your story. It is grace. It is time given with purpose. It is space for healing, returning, listening, and awakening. I have allowed you to remain because there is still something I am speaking over your life. Do not call your survival ordinary. Do not call your endurance nothing. Do not treat another day as if it has no sacred weight. Every breath is an invitation. Every morning is mercy wearing the clothing of routine. Every quiet hour is another opening for your heart to turn toward me before the noise returns. You have walked through places that could have changed you in harsher ways. Some wounds could have made you bitter beyond recognition. Some disappointments could have closed your heart completely. Some mistakes could have dragged you deeper than you understood. But even when you did not know how to protect yourself, I was placing limits around what could reach you. I did not keep you alive so you could merely repeat the same tired patterns. I did not preserve you so you could keep living half awake, half present, half surrendered. I kept you because I am calling you into more than survival. I am calling you into a life that is conscious, humble, listening, and aligned with the purpose I placed inside you before you knew it. My beloved child, you have mistaken many quiet protections for ordinary coincidence. You thought a plan simply failed. You thought a relationship simply faded. You thought a door simply closed. You thought a delay simply frustrated your timing. But there were moments when what looked like loss was my hand interrupting what would have harmed you. You did not hear the danger because I moved before it reached your ears. You did not see the trap because I closed the path before your feet entered it. You did not feel the full weight of certain battles because I stood between you and what was meant to crush your spirit. My protection was not always loud, but it was always present. There were words spoken against you that failed to take root. There were plans formed without your knowledge that did not prevail. There were voices that tried to convince you that your life was too small, your calling too late, your heart too damaged, your future too far gone. I weakened those voices before they could own you. You may still carry scars, but scars are not proof that I abandoned you. They are proof that what touched you did not destroy you. You may still carry questions, but questions are not proof that I am distant. They are places where your soul is being invited deeper. You may still feel unfinished, but unfinished is not forgotten. As it is written, I know when you sit down and when you rise up. I understand your thoughts from far away. My beloved child, I have known the hidden movement of your life. I have seen what others missed. I have heard the prayers you did not know how to form. I have understood the tears you tried to swallow. Do not believe the lie that you are only drifting. Do not believe that heaven has been silent because your days look plain. Some of my deepest work has been happening in the places you called empty. I laid strong foundations during seasons when you thought nothing was moving. A house is not strengthened by the paint on the walls, but by the unseen beams that hold it when the winds rise. In the same way, I have been strengthening you in hidden places. I have been teaching you endurance, compassion, humility, patience, and discernment through days that did not look important to anyone else. Tonight, I am asking you to see your life differently. Do not rush past the fact that you are still here. Do not hurry back into distraction. Pause long enough to recognize the mercy that has followed you. You are not listening to this message by accident. I have brought your heart to this moment because I want you awake. You have been alive, but I am calling you to live. You have been moving, but I am calling you to walk with purpose. You have been enduring, but I am calling you to return to the source that has been holding you all along. My beloved child, I kept you for more than another day of habit. If these words are touching inside you, do not push them away. Let your soul admit that there has been a hand guiding you. Let your spirit remember that you are not alone. I am not speaking to shame you. I am speaking to awaken you. This is the beginning of a sacred turning. The fact that you are still here is not the end of the message. It is the first proof that I have been near. I have kept you through what you saw and through what you never saw. Now I am calling you to listen deeply, because in the next part, I will show you how I protected you in ways your eyes never recognized. My beloved child, now that you understand you are still here because I have kept you, I want to open your eyes to another truth. I protected you in ways you never saw. I stood between you and dangers that never announced themselves. I moved ahead of you before your mind could recognize the risk. I guarded places in your life that you did not even know were vulnerable. There were roads you wanted to take, but something kept interrupting them. You called it delay, you called it bad timing, you called it disappointment. But my child, some delays were my hand slowing your steps because I saw what waited beyond the turn. You saw only the entrance. I saw the whole road. You saw the invitation. I saw the hidden cost. There were people you wanted to keep, but they drifted away. You wondered why the connection weakened, why the conversation changed, why the door closed when you were still holding hope. My beloved child, I know that pain. I saw the ache it left inside you, but I also saw what their presence would have done if they had remained longer. I saw the confusion, the pressure, the slow draining of your spirit. I removed some things, not because I wanted to hurt you, but because I refused to let them quietly destroy what I was protecting within you. You did not always recognize my protection because it did not arrive like a dramatic rescue. It often arrived as a small hesitation in your heart, a plan that would not settle, a peace that would not come, a door that would not open no matter how hard you pushed. A sudden change that frustrated you at the time, yet later kept you from something heavier. My child, true protection is not always loud. Sometimes protection is the absence of what could have happened. The message that never reached you, the meeting that was canceled, the choice that lost its attraction, the opportunity that slipped away before it could pull you into a season you were not meant to carry. You saw nothing happen, but I saw what I prevented. There were nights when you slept and I was watching. There were days when you moved through life unaware and I was guiding your steps around unseen pits. There were moments when you almost agreed to what would have cost you peace, and I stirred uneasiness inside you. You thought you were being overly cautious. Sometimes that caution was my whisper. As it is written in Psalm chapter 121, the Lord will keep you from all evil. He will keep your soul. My beloved child, I have not only kept your body moving through time, I have kept your soul from things that wanted to harden it. I have kept your heart from fully surrendering to bitterness. I have kept your mind from believing every lie that tried to become your identity. There were words spoken over you that were meant to shrink you. Someone's judgment, someone's silence, someone's rejection, someone's careless sentence. Those words tried to build walls inside you. They tried to convince you that you were too late, too weak, too broken, too ordinary, too far from what I called you to become. But I was there loosening their grip before they could take full root. You may still remember the words. You may still feel the sting sometimes. But my beloved child, notice this. They did not become the final word over you. You are still listening for me. You are still able to feel conviction. You are still able to hope. You are still able to be touched by truth. That is protection too. I protected your heart, even when your heart did not know how to protect itself. I protected you from becoming completely numb. I protected you from accepting emptiness as your permanent home. I protected you from turning pain into the only language you understood. You may have been tired, but you were not abandoned. You may have been wounded, but you were not handed over to the wound. My child, there were also temptations that looked reasonable. Not everything dangerous comes with a dark face. Some dangers came dressed as comfort. Some came dressed as quick relief. Some came dressed as approval. Some came dressed as a familiar pattern you thought you could control. But I saw where those patterns would lead. I saw how they would quietly pull you away from the life I was awakening within you. That is why I interrupted certain desires. That is why I allowed certain plans to lose strength. That is why something inside you could not say yes even when part of you wanted to. I was not trying to steal joy from you. I was protecting you from a counterfeit peace that would later become bondage. Do not be angry at every closed path. Do not assume every interruption was failure. Do not think every lost thing was proof that I forgot you. Some of what you call loss was actually covering. Some of what you call delay was mercy. Some of what you call disappointment was my shield placed gently but firmly between you and unnecessary pain. My beloved child, I know you wanted explanations. You wanted to understand while it was happening. But if I had shown you every danger, fear may have overwhelmed you. So I did what a loving father does. I guided you without always explaining the whole battle. I held back what you could not carry. I protected you even when you thought I was silent. Now I am asking you to look again. Look at the seasons that did not make sense. Look at the doors that closed. Look at the plans that collapsed. Look at the people who left. Do not look with bitterness. Look with awakened eyes. Ask whether my mercy was hidden in the very thing you once called rejection. This does not mean every pain was good. It means I was present even there. It means no darkness was outside my sight. It means I was weaving protection through places you could not understand. I do not waste pain surrendered to me. I do not abandon my child in confusion. I use even what the enemy meant for harm to bring wisdom, humility, and deeper listening. If these words are reaching your heart, let this be your declaration: I was protected in hidden ways. Say it when regret tries to accuse you. Say it when disappointment returns. Say it when you remember what did not happen and wonder why. Let your heart begin to see that my hand was near. Stay with me, my beloved child. This message is not only about what I saved you from, it is also about what I am awakening you into. I protected you because I love you, but I am also calling you because there is more ahead. In the next part, I will speak to the sleep of postponement, and I will show you why you must not keep saying later to the voice that is calling you now. My beloved child, now that I have shown you how I protected you in hidden ways, I must speak to the place where your heart has grown too comfortable. I am waking you from the sleep of postponement. I am calling you out of the quiet habit of saying later, when your spirit already knows I am speaking now. You have told yourself there is still time. You have said, when life slows down, I will listen more deeply. When the pressure eases, I will pray with my whole heart. When I feel stronger, I will obey. When I understand the whole path, I will step forward. My child, those words sound reasonable, but if you keep repeating them, they become a soft blanket over a sleeping soul. Postponement does not always look like rebellion. Sometimes it looks calm, it looks practical, it looks responsible. It says, not yet, just wait, take care of other things first. But beneath that gentle sound, delay can slowly make your heart less sensitive. You begin to hear without responding. You begin to feel conviction without moving. You begin to sense my voice, then cover it with another excuse. I am not speaking this to condemn you. I know the reasons you have delayed. I know you are tired. I know you have carried responsibilities that made your spirit feel crowded. I know there are fears you do not always name. Fear of change, fear of failing, fear of losing what is familiar, fear that obedience will cost more than you can carry. But my beloved child, do not let fear dress itself like wisdom. There is a kind of caution that protects, and there is a kind of caution that imprisons. There is a kind of waiting that is holy, and there is a kind of waiting that is only fear sitting still. You must learn the difference. When I say wait, peace guards the waiting. When fear says wait, heaviness grows. When I say wait, your faith becomes deeper. When fear says wait, your spirit becomes duller. When I say wait, you remain alert and surrendered. When fear says wait, you become passive, distracted, and numb. You have not always rejected me with loud words. Many times you simply placed my voice behind other things, behind busyness, behind comfort, behind entertainment, behind the opinions of people, behind the tired sentence, I will deal with this later. But my child, a delayed response still shapes the heart. Each later teaches your spirit that my call can be postponed. I am waking you because I love you too much to let your life be swallowed by almost listening, almost changing, almost surrendering, almost stepping forward, almost returning with your whole heart. Almost can look close to obedience, but it never crosses the threshold. Do you see it now, my child? You have stood near the doorway many times. You looked through it. You felt something stir. You knew I was inviting you deeper. But then familiar life pulled you back. You return to the same rhythm, the same distractions, the same unfinished promises inside yourself, and afterward you wondered why your soul still felt dry. Dryness is not always proof that I am absent. Sometimes it is proof that you have been ignoring the water I placed before you. You asked for renewal but delayed the step that would open your heart. You asked for clarity but avoided the quiet where clarity would speak. You asked for peace but kept returning to noise. As it is written in Hebrews chapter 3 verse 15 today, if you hear his voice, do not harden your hearts. My beloved child, today matters. Not because tomorrow is outside my power, but because your heart is being shaped by how you respond now. A heart that keeps refusing the present call may become slower to recognize the next one. I do not want your sensitivity to fade. I do not want you to become someone who can hear truth and remain unchanged. I do not want you to live around holy things while your spirit sleeps. You were not created to nod at light and keep walking in shadows. You were created to respond. This message is not asking you for a dramatic performance. I am not asking you to solve everything tonight. I am not asking you to understand every mystery or repair every broken place in one breath. I am asking for one honest response, one open yes, one surrendered step, one moment where you stop bargaining with conviction and say, Father, I hear you. Perhaps the step is prayer you have avoided. Perhaps it is forgiveness you have delayed. Perhaps it is returning to discipline. Perhaps it is leaving a habit that has been draining your spirit. Perhaps it is turning off the noise and sitting with me long enough to be truthful. Perhaps it is obeying a small instruction you have carried for a long time. Do not despise the smallness of the step. Awakening often begins quietly. A person wakes not by moving mountains, but by opening their eyes. A locked room changes when one window is opened. A dark hallway changes when one lamp is lit. Your heart can begin to wake with one sincere yes. My beloved child, I have been patient with you. My patience is mercy, but mercy was never meant to become permission for endless delay. I have waited at the edges of your days. I have whispered in the moments between tasks. I have touched your heart during song's silence, sorrow, and sudden memory. I have been calling not to burden you, but to bring you back to life. You may think you are waiting for the right feeling, but obedience is not always born from strong emotion. Sometimes obedience begins while the feelings are still weak. Sometimes you step while trembling. Sometimes you return while embarrassed. Sometimes you pray while dry. And as you move, life begins to return. Do not wait until you feel perfectly ready. Readiness often follows surrender. Do not wait until every question is answered. Light often comes while you are walking. Do not wait until fear disappears. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is refusing to let fear rule your response. If these words are touching your heart, let this be your declaration: I will not delay again. Say it softly, but mean it. Say it not as a promise made from pride, but as a humble turning toward me. Say it because your soul has slept long enough under the covering of later. This is not the hour to hide from what you already know. This is the hour to answer with simplicity, honesty, and trust before old comfort pulls your attention away again. Stay with me, my beloved child. I am not only waking you from postponement, I am bringing you to a sacred intersection. What you do with this moment matters more than you realize. In the next part, I will show you why this moment is not ordinary, and why your response now can open a depth of life you have been quietly longing for. My beloved child, now that I have called you out of the sleep of postponement, I want you to understand the weight of this moment. This is not an ordinary pause in your day. This is not just another message passing through your ears. This is a sacred intersection, a place where your heart is being invited to choose direction. You may think you are simply listening for comfort. You may think you will receive a few words, feel encouraged for a little while, and then return to the same familiar rhythm. But my child, I am speaking deeper than comfort. I am reaching for the place inside you that knows you cannot keep living half awake. There are moments in life that look small from the outside, but heaven sees them differently. A sentence heard at the right time, a quiet conviction that will not leave, a sudden stillness in the middle of noise, a message that meets you exactly where you are. These moments may not shake the room, but they can shift the course of a life. This is one of those moments. Do not rush through it. Do not treat it like background sound. Do not let your mind wander back to the same worries before your spirit has received what I am offering. I have brought you to this point with care. I have protected you, waited for you, called to you, and now I am asking you to pause with honesty. My beloved child, an intersection is not the end of the road. It is the place where direction must be chosen. You cannot stand there forever. You cannot keep telling yourself you will decide someday while your feet remain fixed in old patterns. At some point, the heart must answer. At some point, listening must become response. I am not forcing you. I do not drag your soul into obedience. I call, I reveal, I stir, I warn, I invite. But I have given you the dignity of response. Love does not make you a prisoner. Love opens the door and says, come deeper. Love tells the truth and waits for the heart to turn. Today I am asking you to turn, not toward fear, not toward panic, not toward a performance of faith that sounds strong but hides a divided heart. I am asking you to turn toward me with the part of you that is tired of pretending. The part of you that has whispered there must be more than this. The part of you that still longs for real life, even after disappointment tried to silence that longing. You have lived many days by habit. You woke, worked, answered, handled, endured, repeated. You learned the rhythm of survival so well that survival began to feel like your whole calling. But my beloved child, survival is not the fullness of what I made you for. I preserved you through survival so I could lead you into awakening. This moment matters because your spirit is being stirred before it goes numb again. You know how quickly the noise returns. A phone rings, a task calls, a memory rises, a worry pulls at your chest. And suddenly the holy stirring you felt becomes buried beneath ordinary distraction. That is why I say, listen now, respond now. Do not assume the same tenderness will remain if you keep delaying. As it is written in 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 2, behold, now is the accepted time. Behold, now is the day of salvation. My child, now does not mean fear of tomorrow. It means grace is reaching you in the present. It means I am placing light before your feet while your heart is still able to see it. You do not need to understand every part of the journey to take the next step. You do not need to feel fully ready to answer the call. You do not need to be completely healed before you turn toward healing. You do not need to know how everything will change before you stop protecting what keeps you unchanged. The sacred intersection asks for honesty. What have you been avoiding? What have you been calling wisdom when it is really fear? What have you been calling patience when it is really delay? What have you been calling peace when it is really numbness? What instruction have you carried quietly, knowing it came from me, yet still placing it aside? Do not answer quickly with your lips. Let your heart answer slowly before me. I am not searching for religious words. I am searching for truth in the inward place. I would rather hear one honest, trembling, Father, help me respond, than many polished sentences that leave the heart untouched. My beloved child, I know the cost of choosing direction can feel heavy. A new path may require you to release an old comfort. A deeper life may require you to stop hiding behind busyness. A real yes may require you to face the thing you have kept postponing. But I do not ask you to step alone. I stand at the intersection with you. Think of a person standing at the edge of a bridge in fog. Behind them is the road they know, worn and familiar, but it only circles back to the same place. Before them is a bridge they cannot fully see, yet my voice is on the other side calling them forward. Faith does not require seeing the whole bridge. Faith begins by trusting the voice that calls. My child, the familiar road may feel safer, but if it keeps you asleep, it is not safety. It is a quiet prison. The path of obedience may feel uncertain, but if I am leading you there, it is life. You must not confuse comfort with peace. Comfort keeps you where you are. Peace can walk with you into what is new. If these words are touching your heart, let this be your declaration. I will respond today. Say it not with pressure, but with surrender. Say it because the heart that responds is the heart that begins to live again. Say it because you were not brought to this intersection to turn back unchanged. Stay with me, my beloved child. Something deeper is being awakened in you. I am not calling you to a shallow moment of emotion. I am calling you into a life with direction, depth, and holy awareness. This moment is sacred because I am meeting you here not to shame you for yesterday, but to lead you beyond it. Do not let this pass as if it were nothing. Do not let old excuses close around you again. Do not let the voice of later steal what the voice of love is opening now. Pause, listen, answer. Place one honest step before me right now, my child. This is a sacred intersection, and your response will shape more than you see. In the next part, I will show you how your faith is being tested for maturity and why the shaking you have felt is not meant to destroy you but to make your roots deeper in me. My beloved child, now that you have seen this moment as a sacred intersection, I want you to understand why your faith has been under pressure. You have wondered why the road has not been smoother. You have asked why certain answers have taken so long, why certain doors opened only partly, why your heart has had to keep believing while your eyes still saw unfinished things. I hear those questions. I do not despise them. A child who asks in pain is not rejected by the Father, but I want to take you deeper than the question of when. I want to show you what has been happening within you while you waited, while you prayed, while you kept walking through days that did not explain themselves. Your faith is being tested for maturity, not to shame you, not to exhaust you, not because I enjoy watching you struggle. I test what I intend to strengthen. I allow pressure where I am building endurance. I permit shaking where I am revealing what cannot be shaken. My beloved child, faith that is never stretched remains fragile. It may sound beautiful in quiet rooms, but it will not know how to stand when winds rise. You thought faith meant always feeling calm. You thought faith meant having no questions, no trembling, no heaviness in the chest. But true faith is not proven only when everything feels clear. True faith appears when you still turn toward me while the answer is hidden. True faith breathes my name in the dark. True faith takes one step when the path is not fully lit. As it is written in James chapter 1 verse 3, the testing of your faith produces patience. My child, patience is not weakness. Patience is strength that has learned not to run away from the process. Patience is faith that remains with me long enough to be formed. Patience is the root growing downward before the fruit appears upward. Think of a tree standing through strong wind. The wind does not create the roots, but it reveals whether they have depth. A tree with shallow roots may look alive in calm weather, but when the storm comes, the truth is exposed. My beloved child, I am not allowing winds to destroy you. I am using them to drive your roots deeper into me. You wanted quick relief, and I understand. You wanted a clear sign, an immediate answer, a sudden change. But if I gave you only relief and never formed roots, you would remain dependent on easy seasons. I am preparing you to stand in seasons that require inner strength, not just outer comfort. There are blessings that require a mature heart. There are doors that require steady feet. There are assignments that require discernment, humility, endurance, and obedience. I cannot place heavy purpose on a heart that collapses under every delay. I cannot open certain doors before I strengthen the one who must walk through them. This is why I have been forming you slowly. Every time you chose prayer instead of bitterness, strength grew. Every time you chose obedience instead of excuses, maturity grew. Every time you chose to listen when distraction was louder, your spirit became more awake. Every time you chose not to abandon hope, even when hope felt small, your roots went deeper. Do not measure growth only by visible change. Some of the most important work I do in you cannot be photographed, announced, or explained quickly. It happens in the quiet chamber of trust. It happens when you do the right thing and no one notices. It happens when you keep your heart soft after disappointment. It happens when you refuse to let delay make you cynical. My beloved child, the enemy wants you to misread the test. He wants you to think the pressure means I am absent. He wants you to think the waiting means I have forgotten. He wants you to think the shaking means your faith is failing. But I tell you, the shaking may be proof that something real is being revealed. What is false falls away. What is rooted remains. Do not be afraid of discovering weakness. Weakness brought to me becomes a place for grace. A crack admitted can be healed. A fear confessed can be covered. A question surrendered can become deeper trust. But weakness hidden behind performance will keep wearing you out. I am not testing you so you can prove you are flawless. I am testing your faith so you can learn to depend on me truthfully. You have been learning to say, Father, I do not see it yet, but I trust you. Father, I do not understand the timing, but I will not turn back. Father, my heart is tired, but I am still listening. These prayers may sound simple, but heaven sees them as strength. A trembling prayer can carry more faith than a loud statement made only to impress people. My child, maturity does not always feel like victory at first. Sometimes maturity feels like choosing silence instead of complaint. Sometimes it feels like waiting without becoming bitter. Sometimes it feels like obeying a quiet instruction when your emotions want comfort. Sometimes it feels like staying honest with me instead of pretending you are fine. I am making your faith real. Real faith can weep and still worship. Real faith can question and still remain. Real faith can feel pressure and still refuse to bow to fear. Real faith does not deny the storm. It learns to hear my voice above it. So do not resent every test. Do not curse every delay. Do not assume every unanswered prayer is a closed heaven. Some answers are being prepared. Some doors are being timed. Some parts of your heart are still being strengthened. I am not slow because I lack power. I am patient because I love what I am forming in you. I have not ignored the tears that came with the testing. I have kept every hidden moment before me. Nothing you surrendered in faith has vanished. Even the quiet endurance you thought no one valued has become part of the strength I am weaving into your spirit for the road ahead right now, even in this season. If these words are touching your heart, let this be your declaration. My faith is growing deeper. Say it when pressure rises. Say it when waiting feels long. Say it when your emotions feel weak. Say it because the test is not the end. It is part of the forming. Stay with me, my beloved child. The shaking is not meant to bury you. The delay is not meant to erase you. The pressure is not proof that I have left you. I am strengthening the inner place so you can carry what is ahead with wisdom, humility, and courage. Your faith is being tested for maturity, and in the next part I will show you that I am making you strong enough to carry the breakthrough. What I am preparing is not only for your excitement, it is for a vessel made steady, whole, and ready to stand. My beloved child, now that you understand your faith is being tested for maturity, I want you to see the tenderness behind the process. I am making you strong enough to carry the breakthrough. I am not withholding what is good because I have forgotten you. I am not delaying because I am uncertain. I am preparing the one who must stand when the door finally opens. You have prayed for release. You have asked for change. You have cried for a shift that would prove the waiting was not wasted. I have heard every word. But my beloved child, I see more than the moment of arrival. I see what will happen after the answer comes. I see whether your heart can hold the blessing without losing peace, humility, wisdom, or dependence on me. Some blessings are heavy, not heavy because they are evil, but because they carry responsibility. A new door requires new strength. A larger assignment requires a deeper root. A greater measure of influence requires a heart that does not need applause to remain steady. A breakthrough without preparation can overwhelm the very person who prayed for it. Think of a lamp that is given fresh oil. If the wick is not trimmed, the flame will smoke and struggle. The oil is good, but the vessel must be tended. In the same way, I am tending the hidden places in you. I am trimming what would make the blessing burn wrongly. I am clearing what would cloud the light I want to place within your life. My child, you may have thought the waiting was only about circumstances changing, but much of the waiting has been about capacity. Can your heart remain grateful when the answer comes? Can your spirit remain humble when the door opens? Can you steward what I give instead of clinging to it in fear? Can you receive without making the blessing your identity? I love you too much to hand you a weight before strengthening your shoulders. I love you too much to place you in a room your character is not ready to stand in. I love you too much to give you what would make you proud, distracted, bitter, careless, or forgetful of the very voice that carried you through the dark. This is why I have been working deeply. You asked me to change the outside, and I have been changing the inside. You asked me to open the door, and I have been strengthening the feet that will walk through it. You asked me for breakthrough, and I have been healing the places that would misuse it, fear it, or run from it. As it is written in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 7, we have this treasure in jars of clay to show that the surpassing power belongs to God and not to us. My beloved child, you are precious, but you are still being formed. The treasure is real and the clay matters. I am not ashamed of your weakness. I am shaping it into a place where my strength can be seen. Do not despise the slow work. A builder who cares about the house does not rush the foundation. A potter who loves the vessel does not stop shaping it while it is still uneven. A father who sees the road ahead does not let the child carry more than the child can bear too soon. My timing has mercy inside it. There were things I had to remove before increase could come safely. Old fears, hidden pride, the habit of measuring yourself through approval, the need to control every outcome, the tendency to trust me only when signs are visible. These things would have made the breakthrough fragile, so I touched them, sometimes gently, sometimes through seasons that exposed what you did not know was still there. I know exposure can hurt. It is not easy to see impatience in yourself. It is not easy to realize how much fear still guides certain choices. It is not easy to admit that part of you wants the blessing more than the transformation. But my beloved child, what is revealed can be healed. What is brought into light can be strengthened. What is surrendered can be made whole. The breakthrough I am preparing is not meant to become another burden. It is meant to serve life. It is meant to draw you closer, not farther. It is meant to open your hands, not harden your heart. It is meant to make you more compassionate, more awake, more obedient, more useful for the purpose I have written over you. That is why I am teaching you to stand before I ask you to carry. I am teaching you to listen before I increase your responsibility. I am teaching you to rest in me before I lead you into movement. I am teaching you to obey small instructions before I place larger ones before you. You may feel hidden, but hidden does not mean useless. Seeds are hidden before they rise. Roots are hidden before they hold a tree. A child is formed in secret before being brought into the light. Many of my greatest works begin where no crowd can see them. Your hidden season is not wasted. It is preparation with my hand upon it. Do not compare your preparation with someone else's arrival. You may see their open door and wonder why yours is still forming, but you do not see what I required of them, and you do not know what I am requiring of you. Your process is personal because your calling is personal. I measure you by obedience, not by another person's timeline. My beloved child, strength is growing in you, even when you feel weak. Every time you choose me instead of despair, strength grows. Every time you return after distraction, strength grows. Every time you refuse to let disappointment make you hard, strength grows. Every time you take one step of obedience without full certainty, strength grows. Let this truth settle gently within you. The door is not denied, the promise is not empty, the season is not wasted. I am building strength in places only I can see right now today. If these words are touching your heart, let this be your declaration: I am being made ready. Say it when waiting feels slow. Say it when preparation feels hidden. Say it when you wonder why the door has not opened yet. Say it because I am not only preparing the breakthrough, I am preparing you. Stay with me, my beloved child. Do not run from the forming. Do not curse the quiet place. Do not think I am absent because the process is not dramatic. I am near in the shaping, near in the stretching, near in the strengthening, near in every hidden moment where your roots are becoming deeper. I am making you strong enough to carry the breakthrough, and in the next part I will teach you to hear me in the noise, because the one who carries breakthrough must also learn to recognize my voice when many other voices are fighting for attention. My beloved child, now that you know I am making you strong enough to carry the breakthrough, I want to teach you something necessary for the road ahead. You must learn to hear me in the noise, not only in quiet rooms, not only when your heart feels peaceful, not only when life slows down enough for you to breathe. You must learn to recognize my voice while many other voices are trying to pull your attention away. I know the noise around you. I know the noise of responsibility, the noise of unfinished tasks, the noise of family concerns, the noise of bills, the noise of memories, the noise of what people expect from you. I know the noise inside you too. Questions that repeat, fears that return, thoughts that begin before morning fully arrives, worries that sit beside you even when no one else is there. My beloved child, the enemy does not always need to attack you with great force. Sometimes he only needs to keep your mind crowded. If he can fill your day with urgency, your heart may forget to listen. If he can keep your thoughts circling around every possible outcome, your spirit may become tired before you ever take the next step. If he can make every voice sound important, my whisper may seem distant. But I have not stopped speaking. I have not withdrawn because life became loud. I have not become silent because you feel overwhelmed. My voice remains steady, but you must learn to become still enough within to recognize it. As it is written in John chapter 10, verse 27, "My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me." My child, hearing is not only the ability to receive sound. Hearing in the way I am teaching you means recognizing, trusting, and following. Many hear words. Few truly listen. Many sense truth. Few allow it to lead them. You have heard many voices. Some voices speak fear. Some speak shame. Some speak hurry. Some speak comparison. Some speak old pain. Some speak false safety. They do not always sound evil. Often they sound reasonable. They say, protect yourself. Do not risk. Stay distracted. Do not forgive yet. Do not obey yet. Wait until everything feels certain. But my voice carries a different fruit. My voice may convict you, but it will not crush you. My voice may correct you, but it will not humiliate you. My voice may call you out of comfort, but it will not lead you into emptiness. My voice brings truth with life. It brings urgency with love. It brings direction without confusion. It brings peace even when the step is difficult. My beloved child, learn to test the voice by the fruit it leaves in your heart. Does it draw you closer to me or deeper into fear? Does it make you awake or numb? Does it lead you to obedience or endless delay? Does it fill you with pride or humble courage? Does it help you love wisely or hide behind walls? The voice you follow will shape the person you become. This is why you must protect the inner room of your heart. Do not allow constant noise to become normal. Do not let distraction become the atmosphere you breathe. A heart surrounded by noise can begin to call confusion ordinary. A mind filled with clutter can mistake exhaustion for maturity. My child, you were not created to be led by chaos. Take moments to pause. Not long speeches, not impressive prayers, not religious performance, just honest stillness. Father, I am here. Speak to me. Search me, lead me, teach me what is yours and what is not. Such a prayer may seem small, but it opens a window inside the soul. Fresh air begins to enter, light begins to show what has been crowded. I know you sometimes avoid stillness because silence reveals what noise has been covering. When things become quiet, the ache rises, the fear speaks, the unfinished grief appears. The truth you have avoided steps forward. But my beloved child, do not fear that place. I meet you there. Silence with me is not emptiness. It is where healing begins to breathe. You have asked for clearer direction, but direction often becomes clear after you turn down the competing voices. You have asked to know my will, but my will may already be stirring beneath the distractions. You have asked me to speak louder, but I am asking you to come closer. Think of a lamp in a crowded room. If every light is flashing, the one steady flame may be hard to notice. But when the unnecessary lights are turned off, the flame becomes clear. My voice is like that steady flame. It does not need to compete with noise. It waits for the heart that is willing to notice. My child, hearing me in the noise does not mean you escape every responsibility. It means you stop letting responsibility drown relationship. It means you can work, serve, answer plan, and handle what must be handled while still keeping your spirit turned toward me. It means your life becomes less divided. Your hands may be busy, but your heart remains listening. Start with one practice. Before you answer, fear pause. Before you make a decision, ask. Before you react to someone's words, breathe. Before you return to old habits, listen. Before you believe the thought that says nothing will change, bring that thought into my presence. These small pauses can become gates where my peace enters. Do not be discouraged when the noise feels strong. I am patient with your learning. Each time you return to stillness, your spirit becomes more familiar with truth and less controlled by confusion that once directed your steps within you. My beloved child, you will not recognize my voice perfectly in one day. Do not condemn yourself. Learning to hear is a relationship, not a performance. A child knows the voice of a parent because of nearness, repetition, trust, and time. So come near again. Return again. Listen again. The more you walk with me, the more you will know when I am guiding, warning, comforting, or correcting. If these words are touching your heart, let this be your declaration. I will listen for God's voice. Say it when life becomes loud. Say it when many opinions surround you. Say it when fear pretends to be wisdom. Say it because the next season will require more than strength. It will require discernment. Stay with me, my beloved child. I am teaching you to hear me in the noise because I do not want you led by distraction, fear, or pressure. I want you guided by truth. I want your heart awake. I want your steps aligned. I want you to know the sound of my voice even when the world grows loud. And as you learn to hear me in the noise, I must also warn you about a deeper danger. In the next part, I will speak to spiritual stagnation because the soul that stops listening can slowly become comfortable with existing without truly living. My beloved child, now that I have taught you to hear me in the noise, I must speak to a danger that often comes quietly. Beware of spiritual stagnation. It does not always arrive with a loud fall. It does not always look like open rebellion. Many times it comes softly, like dust settling on a room that no one enters anymore. A stagnant soul still breathes, still works, still answers messages, still fulfills responsibilities, still smiles when people ask if everything is fine. But deep within, something has stopped moving. Desire has grown faint. Prayer has become rare. Conviction passes by without response. The heart hears truth, yet no longer trembles before it. My child, this is dangerous because it can feel normal. You can become accustomed to spiritual dryness and call it maturity. You can become used to living without hunger and call it stability. You can become comfortable with a quiet distance from me and call it peace. But peace that does not draw you nearer is not always peace. Sometimes it is numbness wearing gentle clothing. I am not saying this to frighten you. I am saying it because I love you too deeply to let your soul fall asleep while your body keeps moving. A person can be active on the outside and still be asleep within. A person can accomplish many tasks and still avoid the one thing the spirit needs most: presence with me. My beloved child, stagnation begins when you stop responding, not when you stop hearing. Many still hear. They hear sermons, messages, songs, warnings, quiet nudges, and inner convictions. But they do not pause. They do not turn. They do not obey. They let the word pass over them like rain on stone, and slowly the heart becomes harder than it was before. As it is written in Revelation chapter 3, verse 2, "Be watchful and strengthen the things which remain that are ready to die." My child, there are things within you that must be strengthened again. Your hunger, your tenderness, your obedience, your willingness to be corrected, your ability to be moved by truth. These are not small things. They are signs of life. Do not wait until everything feels dead before you return. Return while there is still a flicker. Return while a part of you still longs. Return while this message still reaches something inside you. That small stirring is not meaningless. It is my mercy touching what has grown quiet. Think of a river that once flowed freely. When the water keeps moving, it stays clear. But when the flow is blocked, the surface may look calm while underneath it becomes heavy, clouded, and lifeless. So it is with the soul. You were created for living water, not stillness that slowly loses purity. You were created to keep receiving, responding, and flowing. What blocks the flow in you, my child? Is it fear? Is it disappointment? Is it the belief that nothing changes anyway? Is it the comfort of routine? Is it hidden resentment? Is it a habit you have learned to protect? Is it the voice that keeps saying, "Not now, later, another day"? Bring it into the light. Stagnation grows in darkness, but healing begins when truth is welcomed. There is also spiritual blindness. You look, but you no longer see with awakened eyes. You may see a closed door and call it only failure when I am protecting you. You may see a delay and call it only abandonment when I am preparing you. You may see a warning and call it pressure when I am showing mercy. Blindness makes you measure everything by comfort instead of purpose. There is also spiritual deafness. You hear, but the heart does not move. You know what I am asking, yet you keep walking in the same direction. You sense what must change, yet you argue with the instruction. My beloved child, the danger is not that I stop speaking. The danger is that you become practiced at hearing without obeying. I am calling you back to wakefulness. Wakefulness is not anxiety. It is not living afraid of every mistake. It is living aware of my presence. It is rising each day with the quiet question, "Father, what are you teaching me? What are you correcting? What are you inviting me to obey today?" A wakeful heart does not need noise to feel alive. It listens. My child, you were not created merely to exist. You are not created to move through days like a machine doing what is required while your soul grows silent. You were created for communion. You were created to walk with me, to receive from me, to be changed by me, to carry light because you remain near the source of light. The enemy does not mind you being busy if your spirit is asleep. He does not mind you saying good words if your heart is unmoved. He does not mind you maintaining an image if you avoid transformation. He fears the moment you truly awaken, because an awakened soul cannot be led easily by distraction, shame, or fear. So I am asking you now to notice the places where life has slowed inside you. Notice where prayer has become a memory. Notice where obedience has become optional. Notice where you have stopped expecting me to speak. Notice where you have tolerated distance because it felt easier than surrender. Do not condemn yourself. Condemnation pushes you away. Conviction calls you home. I am not exposing stagnation to shame you. I am exposing it to free you. A wound uncovered by love can be healed. A room open to light can be cleaned. A heart that admits its dryness can receive living water again. I have been patient through seasons when your attention wandered. I have met you in small moments you almost ignored. Even now, I am not demanding a perfect flame. I am breathing on the ember that remains. Let that comfort you. If there is still desire, still conviction, still even a quiet ache for more of me, then life is still present and I can renew it within you today again. If these words are touching your heart, let this be your declaration. Wake my soul again. Say it when you feel dry. Say it when you realize you have been hearing without responding. Say it when old patterns feel easier than new obedience. Say it because the soul that asks to be awakened is already turning toward life. Stay with me, my beloved child. I am not finished calling you higher. I do not want you trapped in spiritual sleep, moving through life while the deeper part of you remains silent. I want you alive, within, alert, tender, listening, ready to respond. Beware of spiritual stagnation, but do not fear my correction. I warn because I love. I awaken because I am near. I stir you because there is still purpose within you. And in the next part, I will remind you that you were called to overcome, not merely exist, because your life was never meant to be a long routine without holy victory. My beloved child, now that I have warned you about spiritual stagnation, I want to remind you of the life I actually called you to live. You were called to overcome, not merely exist. You were not created only to breathe, work, endure, sleep, and repeat the same weary cycle until your heart forgets what hope feels like. I made you for more than survival. You have lived through seasons where existing felt like all you could manage. I know that. I saw the days when victory sounded too far away, when getting out of bed already felt like a battle, when you answered people with simple words because you did not have the strength to explain what was happening inside. I did not condemn you in those seasons. I carried you through them. But my beloved child, what I carried you through is not meant to become the place where you remain. Survival may be necessary for a season, but it is not your calling. I preserved you in the valley so I could lead you upward. I kept your breath alive so I could awaken your spirit. I held you when you were weak so you could learn that strength is not found in pretending, but in belonging to me. There is a difference between existing and living. Existing moves by habit. Living moves with purpose. Existing says, I just need to get through this day. Living says, Father, show me how to walk with you in this day. Existing hides from pain. Living brings pain into my presence. Existing avoids change because it fears cost. Living obeys because it trusts love. My child, I am not asking you to become loud, impressive, or perfect. Overcoming does not mean you never tremble. It does not mean you never feel tired. It does not mean you never face another difficult hour. Overcoming means you no longer bow to the things that once ruled you. Fear may speak, but it no longer owns your steps. Shame may remember your past, but it no longer writes your name. Delay may tempt you, but it no longer controls your response. As it is written in Romans chapter 8, verse 37, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him who loved us. My beloved child, notice this. Not apart from hardship, not after every pressure disappears. In all these things, in the middle of weariness, in the middle of opposition, in the middle of unanswered questions, you are more than a survivor because my love is not absent from the battle. I am calling you to overcome the inward chains first, the chain of fear that tells you to stay small, the chain of self-blame that keeps you rehearsing old failures, the chain of people-pleasing that makes you ask for permission from voices that do not know your purpose, the chain of spiritual delay that keeps saying later when your heart knows now. These chains may not be seen by others, but they have shaped many of your choices. They have taught you to shrink your prayers, lower your expectations, hide your true hunger, and settle for a life that looks calm while your spirit longs for freedom. My beloved child, I am touching those chains tonight. I did not call you to live under the shadows of what wounded you. I did not call you to build a home inside old disappointment. I did not call you to carry labels placed on you by tired people, wounded people, angry people, or fearful people. I called you by name before those labels ever touched you. My voice is older than their judgment. My purpose is stronger than their opinion. You may have accepted limits because they felt familiar. You may have called them personality. You may have said, "This is just who I am." I am always afraid. I always pull back. I always delay. I always expect disappointment. But my child, not everything familiar is your identity. Some things are only old patterns waiting to be broken by truth. Overcoming begins when you stop agreeing with what has kept you bound. It begins when you say, "I may have lived this way for a long time, but this is not the final shape of my life." It begins when you bring your tired heart to me and let me show you the difference between what happened to you and who I created you to be. My beloved child, you belong to me. That is your foundation, not your success, not your failure, not your past, not your fear, not the voice of the crowd, not the approval of people who can change their minds by morning. You belong to me, and because you belong to me, you do not have to live as a prisoner of every passing voice. Stand upright in your spirit, not with arrogance but with holy confidence. You can be humble and still refuse to be ruled by fear. You can be gentle and still refuse to return to bondage. You can be honest about your weakness and still rise because my strength is with you. Think of a person who has lived too long in a dim room. At first, the darkness feels uncomfortable. Then it becomes normal. Then the person forgets how wide the world is beyond the door. When the door opens, light may feel almost painful, not because light is cruel, but because the eyes have grown used to darkness. My child, I am opening the door. Do not run back to the dim room because the light requires adjustment. The life I am calling you into will require you to wake, choose, listen, and act. It will require you to stop protecting the patterns that keep you stuck. It will require you to let go of the false safety of smallness. But I will not abandon you in the process. Every step toward freedom will be met by grace. I know the thought may rise, what if I fall again? My child, rising is part of overcoming. A stumble brought to me is not the end of the road. I will teach your feet to walk differently, and I will steady your heart while you learn again with patient love again today. If these words are touching your heart, let this be your declaration: I was made to overcome. Say it when fear tells you to remain the same. Say it when old habits feel stronger than new obedience. Say it when the enemy reminds you of the valley and tries to convince you that the valley is your home. It is not your home, my child. Stay with me. I am not only calling you out of stagnation, I am calling you into identity, into purpose, into the authority of one who knows they are loved, chosen, and held. You were not created to merely exist. You were called to overcome. And in the next part, I will speak to the identity I wrote for you, because you cannot fully overcome while still wearing the names that fear, shame, and old pain placed upon your soul. My beloved child, now that I have reminded you that you were called to overcome, not merely exist, I want to speak to the name you have been living under. Not the name people call you, not the name written on papers. I am speaking of the identity you carry inside the story you quietly believe about who you are. For too long you have allowed pain to name you. You have allowed failure to describe you. You have allowed old rejection to explain your worth. You have allowed the voice of fear to write labels over your heart. Too weak, too late, too damaged, too ordinary, too far behind. But my beloved child, none of those names came from me. Before people praised you or criticized you, I knew you. Before your mistakes became memories, I knew you. Before anyone misunderstood your heart, I knew you. Before the world tried to shape you by comparison, expectation, and shame, I had already spoken identity over you. As it is written, be Isaiah chapter 43 verse 1, I have called you by your name. You are mine. My child, let those words reach the deepest place in you. You are mine, not because you performed perfectly, not because you never wandered, not because you carried every season well. You are mine because I chose to set my love upon you. You have lived many days as if you had to earn the right to be loved. You tried to prove you were useful. You tried to appear strong. You tried to keep everything together so no one would see how tired you were. You learned to smile while your soul was asking for help. You learned to answer, I am fine, while your heart was quietly asking if anyone could see the truth. I saw it, my beloved child. I saw behind the answer. I saw behind the strength. I saw behind the busy schedule the guarded face, the controlled words, and the places where you kept yourself hidden. I did not look away. I did not come to shame you for being tired. I came to call you out of hiding. The identity I wrote for you is not built on performance. It is not built on the approval of people. It is not built on how successful you look, how quickly you recover, or how well you hide your pain. It is built on belonging. You belong to me. That is the foundation beneath every true step you will take. When you know you belong to me, you no longer have to beg fear for permission to move. When you know you belong to me, you no longer have to shrink every dream to fit the doubt of others. When you know you belong to me, you no longer have to accept shame as a permanent garment. My child, some garments were placed on you in painful seasons. The garment of rejection, the garment of self-blame, the garment of mistrust, the garment of never enough, the garment of always preparing for disappointment. You wore them so long that they began to feel like your own skin, but they were never meant to stay on you. I am calling you to remove what I never gave. Remove the sentence that says you are only what happened to you. Remove the belief that says your future must repeat your past. Remove the lie that says you are safer when you stay small. Remove the agreement that says your voice does not matter. These are not your identity. Do not confuse survival patterns with your true self. You became guarded because you were hurt. You became busy because silence felt heavy. You became controlling because uncertainty frightened you. You became distant because closeness once cost you pain. I understand why those patterns formed, but I do not want them to rule you forever. I am not condemning the version of you that tried to survive. I am healing that version. I am showing you that what protected you for a season can become a prison if you never let me transform it. A locked door may keep danger out, but if it never opens, it also keeps life from entering. My beloved child, step into the identity I wrote for you. Beloved, chosen, seen, forgiven, called, held, guided, not perfect but mine, not finished but being formed, not abandoned but watched over, not forgotten but carried, not defined by wounds but invited into healing. This identity will change how you walk. You will stop chasing people who only make you feel valuable when they approve. You will stop letting every delay convince you that I have withdrawn. You will stop measuring your future by the places where you fell. You will stop letting old words sit in the seat where my truth belongs. I want you to stand in holy confidence, not pride, not hardness, not the need to impress. Holy confidence is quiet. It says, I know who holds me. I know who called me. I know who is writing my story. I do not have to collapse every time a human voice misunderstands me. The enemy fears a soul that knows its true identity. He can manipulate a person who lives for approval. He can exhaust a person who believes they must prove everything. He can silence a person who still agrees with shame. But when you begin to believe what I have spoken over you, the old chains lose strength. This is why identity matters. If you believe you are rejected, you will live begging for acceptance. If you believe you are powerless, you will avoid obedience. If you believe you are forgotten, you will misread waiting as abandonment. But if you believe you are mine, you can walk through uncertainty with a steadier heart. My child, do not rush this truth. Let it sit inside you. Let this truth become a steady light in places where confusion once taught you to doubt my care and hide your heart again alone. You are not an accident. You are not a leftover piece of someone else's story. You are not too late for purpose. You are not too broken for restoration. You are not too quiet for me to use. You are not too tired for me to renew. If these words are touching your heart, let this be your declaration: I am who God says I am. Say it when shame rises. Say it when fear tries to rename you. Say it when old memories want to drag you backward. Say it because your soul must learn to agree with truth. Stay with me, my beloved child. I am lifting you out of false names and into the identity I wrote before pain tried to speak louder than love. You were called to overcome, and you overcome by standing in who you are in me. Step into the identity I wrote for you. And in the next part, I will show you why you must stop negotiating with my voice, because the one who knows they belong to me must also learn to respond when I call. My beloved child, now that I have spoken to you about the identity I wrote for you, I must speak to the way you respond when my voice calls. Do not keep negotiating with my voice. Do not keep turning holy instruction into a discussion that never becomes obedience. I am not speaking to win an argument with you. I am speaking to lead you into life. There have been moments when you heard me clearly, not with physical ears, but in the deep place where truth becomes difficult to ignore. You knew what I was asking. You knew what needed to change. You knew what needed to be released, repaired, confessed, forgiven, or obeyed. Yet instead of moving, you began to negotiate. You said, "Not yet." You said, "Let me think about it longer." You said, "When I am stronger." You said, "When things are calmer." You said, "When I understand every detail." My child, I know those words came from fear more than rebellion. I know you were trying to protect yourself from uncertainty. But fear cannot be allowed to become the counselor of your obedience. When I speak, I am not guessing. When I prompt you, I am not experimenting with your life. When I call you forward, I already see the road ahead. I see the bend in the path. I see the danger of staying where you are. I see the grace waiting on the other side of your yes. You see the cost of obedience. I see the cost of delay. My beloved child, delayed obedience can feel safe because nothing seems to change immediately. You keep the same rhythm. You hold the same comfort. You avoid the discomfort of decision. But inside each delay teaches your heart that my voice can wait behind convenience. And over time, the voice that should be first becomes one more sound among many. I do not want that for you. I do not want you to become skilled at hearing me without following me. I do not want you to become a person who can recognize conviction, feel the pull of truth, nod inwardly, and still return to the same old path. That kind of listening slowly weakens the soul. As it is written in Luke chapter 6, verse 46, "Why do you call me Lord, Lord, and do not do the things which I say?" My child, love is not only spoken, trust is not only felt. Faith is not only agreed with in the mind. True faith eventually takes a step. I am not asking for perfection. I know your frame. I know your trembling. I know the places where your confidence feels thin. But I am asking for sincerity. A sincere heart may stumble, but it does not keep building excuses around disobedience. A sincere heart says, "Father, I am afraid, but I will not use fear to ignore you. You have negotiated with me because obedience felt like loss. You thought if you obeyed, you might lose control, comfort, approval, or something familiar. But my beloved child, sometimes what you fear losing is the very thing that has been holding you back. Sometimes the thing you keep defending is the thing I am trying to free you from. You may be defending a habit because it soothes you for a moment. You may be defending a relationship because loneliness scares you. You may be defending delay because change feels too costly. You may be defending an old story because you do not yet know who you are without it. But I have already told you who you are. You are mine. The one who belongs to me does not have to obey every voice of fear. The one who belongs to me does not have to remain trapped in familiar chains. The one who belongs to me can take a step without seeing the entire road because my presence is not limited to what your eyes can measure. My child, I have watched you stand at the edge of obedience many times. You came close. You felt the stirring. You even imagined what life might look like if you finally said yes. Then the questions came. What if it is too hard? What if I fail? What if people do not understand? What if I regret it? And those questions pulled you back. Questions are not your enemy when they bring you closer to me. But questions become a hiding place when you use them to avoid the step you already know is right. You do not need every answer before you obey. Some answers are found only on the other side of movement. Think of a door with light beneath it. You can stand outside and ask what the room looks like for many days, but the room will not reveal itself while you refuse to enter. My instruction is often like that door. I give enough light for the next step, not always enough detail to satisfy every fear. My beloved child, stop asking me to make obedience feel effortless before you begin. Obedience often stretches the place where trust has been weak. It asks your heart to believe that my way is life, even when comfort argues against it. It teaches you that peace is not always found before the step. Sometimes peace meets you as you step. I am calling you to stop bargaining with what you already know. If I told you to forgive, begin releasing the grip. If I told you to return to prayer, begin with one honest moment. If I told you to leave a pattern, stop feeding it today. If I told you to speak truth, do not keep hiding behind silence. If I told you to step forward, stop rehearsing reasons to stay. This is not harshness. This is love refusing to let you drift. A father does not watch a child sit in danger and call it patience. A shepherd does not see the sheep near the edge and remain silent. I speak because I see. I call because I care. I repeat because your future matters to me. If these words are touching your heart, let this be your declaration: I will obey without delay. Say it with humility. Say it knowing you will need my help. Say it because obedience is not self-confidence. Obedience is trust placed into motion. Stay with me, my beloved child. I am teaching you to stop negotiating with my voice, because the next season cannot be entered by endless delay. You must become a listener who responds, a child who trusts a heart that moves when love calls. Do not keep placing my voice behind fear, comfort, or convenience. Let your yes become simple again. Let your trust become active again. Let your heart answer before old excuses return. I will meet that yes with grace and strengthen the feet that finally choose to follow me forward this day. And in the next part, I will show you how your awakening will break old patterns, because one obedient response can begin to loosen chains that have held your life for far too long. My beloved child, now that I have called you to stop negotiating with my voice, I want you to understand what happens when you finally awaken and respond. Your awakening will break old patterns. The moment you stop delaying, something begins to loosen. The moment you answer me with a sincere yes, the chains that once seemed normal begin to lose their strength. You may think one response is too small to matter. One prayer, one decision, one boundary, one act of obedience, one honest confession, one moment of turning away from what has held you. But my child, heaven does not measure obedience by how impressive it looks. I see the direction it creates. I see the doors it begins to close behind you, and the new path it begins to open before you. Patterns do not always begin loudly. They often begin as repeated reactions. The way you pull back when you are afraid. The way you stay silent when truth should be spoken. The way you overthink until obedience becomes delayed. The way you return to old comfort when your spirit is being invited higher. The way you expect disappointment before hope has a chance to rise. These patterns may have followed you for years. Some came from pain. Some came from family habits. Some came from words spoken over you when you were vulnerable. Some came from seasons where survival taught you to protect yourself in ways that no longer bring life. I know where they began, my beloved child. I know why they felt necessary. But I am calling you beyond them now. Awakening does not mean you suddenly forget everything that shaped you. Awakening means you no longer let those things lead you without question. You begin to notice what once controlled you. You begin to pause before repeating it. You begin to say, this may be familiar, but it is not my master. This may be old, but it is not my destiny. As it is written in Romans chapter 12, verse 2, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. My child, transformation begins when the old shape loses authority. I am renewing your mind so you do not keep walking in the same circles while praying for a new road. You have asked for breakthrough, but some breakthroughs begin with interruption. I interrupt the old thought before it becomes an old action. I interrupt the familiar reaction before it builds another wall. I interrupt the voice that says, this is just who you are because I know who I created you to be. I am not only changing what surrounds you, I am changing what has ruled you from within. My beloved child, when you awaken, fear no longer gets to answer for you first. It may still speak, but it no longer holds the pen. Shame may still remind you of yesterday, but it no longer decides tomorrow. Old pain may still knock, but it no longer owns the room. You begin to live from truth instead of reflex. Your awakening will also affect the people around you, not because you will control them, not because you will force change upon them, but because a life that changes direction becomes a light. When you stop reacting from old wounds, the atmosphere around you shifts. When you stop feeding bitterness, conversations change. When you stop agreeing with fear, courage becomes visible. When you choose obedience, others begin to see that another way is possible. Some patterns were not only personal, they moved through families, relationships, and environments long before you noticed them. Harsh words, silence instead of honesty, fear of lack, avoidance of truth, living for appearances, delaying obedience until pain forces movement. But my child, one awakened heart can become the place where a pattern stops. Do not underestimate that. A wall that stood for years can begin to crack because one person refuses to keep placing the same stone. A dark hallway can change because one lamp is lit. A family story can shift because one child of mine says, I will not carry this forward. I will listen, I will heal, I will obey, I will speak life where death has been spoken. This does not mean the process will be effortless. Old patterns may resist being broken, familiar thoughts may return, people may not understand the new boundaries. Fear may ask you to return to the old version of yourself because that version was predictable. But my beloved child, predictable is not the same as free. Freedom may feel strange at first. Peace may feel unfamiliar. Honest obedience may feel uncomfortable. Speaking truth with love may feel new. Resting instead of striving may feel unsafe. That is because the old pattern trained your nervous heart to expect pressure as normal. I am retraining you to recognize life. As it is written in 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 17, where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. My child, I am bringing liberty into places that have been ruled by old agreement. Liberty in your thoughts, liberty in your words, liberty in your choices, liberty in the way you see yourself, liberty in the way you respond when I call. Do not wait until you feel completely different to begin walking differently. Often the walk changes first, and the feelings follow. Choose the new response while the old emotion is still present. Pray while the old fear is still speaking. Forgive while the old wound still feels tender. Obey while the old excuse is still available. This is how patterns break. My beloved child, every awakened choice becomes a seed of a different future. Every time you pause and listen instead of reacting, something changes. Every time you refuse the old lie, something changes. Every time you choose my voice over fear, something changes. These moments may look hidden, but hidden obedience carries power. If these words are touching your heart, let this be your declaration. Old patterns are breaking. Say it when the familiar reaction rises. Say it when the old fear asks for control. Say it when your past tries to convince you that nothing can change. Say it because I am not only waking you for your sake, I am waking you for the sake of what your life will release this hour. Stay with me, my beloved child. Your awakening is not a small private moment. It is the beginning of a holy shift. I am loosening what held you. I am teaching you new responses. I am breaking cycles that tried to make you live beneath your calling. Do not return to sleep after this stirring. Do not call bondage personality. Do not call fear wisdom. Do not call delay patience. Let my light show you what must change, and let my grace help you change it. Your awakening will break old patterns, and in the next part I will show you why my strong voice is love, not anger. Because when I call loudly, it is not to frighten you, but to rescue you before the old pattern pulls you back again. My beloved child, now that you understand your awakening will break old patterns, I need you to understand why my voice has grown strong in this moment. My strong voice is love, not anger. I am not raising my voice because I have turned against you. I am calling strongly because I see what your eyes cannot yet see, and I refuse to let you drift toward harm while believing everything is fine. You may have mistaken urgency for displeasure. You may have thought if God is speaking firmly, then he must be angry with me. But my child, listen carefully. A father who sees his child walking toward a dangerous edge does not speak casually. He does not wait until the child understands the full risk. He calls with strength because love is moving faster than danger. That is what I am doing now. I am not trying to frighten your heart into obedience. Fear can force movement for a moment, but love transforms the direction of a life. I am not here to crush you with shame. Shame makes you hide. Love calls you out where healing can reach you. My voice is strong because the hour is serious, but my heart toward you is still tender. There are times for gentle comfort, and I have comforted you many times. I have held you in silence. I have whispered peace over tired places. I have carried you when your own strength failed. But there are also moments when comfort alone is not enough. There are moments when a sleeping heart must be awakened before it wanders deeper into danger. My beloved child, danger does not always look like disaster. Sometimes danger looks like distraction. It looks like another ordinary day of ignoring what you already know. It looks like postponing one more instruction. It looks like staying close to a pattern I am trying to break. It looks like calling numbness peace and calling delay wisdom. This is why I speak clearly. I am cutting through the fog. I am interrupting the familiar rhythm that keeps pulling you back. I am not shouting from anger. I am calling like one who sees a fire beginning behind the wall while everyone in the house is still asleep. Love does not remain quiet when awakening can save a life. As it is written in Proverbs chapter 3, verse 12, whom the Lord loves, he corrects, just as a father the son in whom he delights. My child, correction is not rejection. Correction is proof that I still care about your direction. If I did not love you, I would let you continue without warning. If I did not have purpose for you, I would allow every pattern to keep its seat. But I am speaking because your life matters to me. Do not run from correction. Do not harden when my words become direct. Do not assume that a strong word means a harsh heart. My heart is not harsh toward you. My heart is wholly faithful and loving. I see the parts of you that are still tender. I know where you are afraid. I know what wounds make certain instructions difficult. I speak firmly, but I handle your heart carefully. You have asked me for breakthrough, but breakthrough often requires a strong interruption. If a door is locked by old fear, a soft suggestion may not move you. If a pattern has held you for years, a gentle feeling may not be enough to break its authority. Sometimes I must speak with weight, so the lie that has kept you sleeping finally loses its grip. My beloved child, I know you prefer words that only comfort. Everyone does when life has been heavy, but love that only comforts and never corrects would leave you where you are. I love you too much for that. I want your peace, but not a peace built on avoidance. I want your joy, but not a joy that hides from truth. I want your freedom, and freedom sometimes begins with a word that shakes what bondage has made comfortable. Think of a doctor who sees a sickness before the patient feels the full pain. If the doctor speaks seriously, it is not cruelty, it is care. If the doctor says you must act now, it is not hatred. It is urgency wrapped in protection. My beloved child, I am showing you what must be faced before it grows deeper. I am pointing to what must be surrendered before it steals more years. I am not angry that you are weak. I am not angry that you are tired. I am not angry that you have delayed. I know the weight you have carried, but I am calling you beyond the excuses that have become too familiar. I am calling you beyond the life that keeps soothing pain without healing it. I am calling you beyond patterns that keep asking for more time while draining the time I have already given. My strong voice is mercy. It is mercy arriving before consequence. It is mercy interrupting the road before the bridge breaks. It is mercy sounding like warning, because warning is what love uses when danger is near. Do not reject mercy, because it does not sound soft. Sometimes mercy comes like a hand pulling you back quickly before you step into what would wound you. This does not mean you should live anxious. Watchfulness is not anxiety. Obedience is not panic. A strong word from me is not meant to make you tremble in confusion. It is meant to make you awake in trust. When I call you, I also give grace to respond. When I warn you, I also open the path of return. When I correct you, I also offer strength to change. Let this settle within you slowly. I do not raise my voice to push you away. I raise it to draw you nearer before lesser voices take your attention again. The same love that whispers peace can also call with strength. Both are mine. Both are holy. Both are for your protection, your awakening, and the future I am guiding you into with patient and faithful love today. If these words are touching your heart, let this be your declaration. Your correction is love. Say it when pride wants to resist. Say it when shame wants to hide. Say it when fear tries to twist my warning into rejection. Say it because the child who receives correction with trust will find protection within it. Stay with me, my beloved child. Do not turn away because my voice is strong. Listen beneath the urgency and hear the love. Hear the Father calling before the edge. Hear the shepherd warning before the thorned path. Hear the healer speaking before the wound deepens. I am not against you. I am for your life. My strong voice is love, not anger. And in the next part, I will show you why breakthrough and danger often stand close together. Because the closer you come to what I am opening, the more carefully you must guard your attention, your obedience, and your heart. My beloved child, now that you understand my strong voice is love and not anger, I want you to see why I am calling so clearly in this season. Breakthrough and danger often stand close together. When a new door is near, distraction often becomes louder. When a long-awaited shift begins to approach, old patterns often rise again. When your spirit is about to step into greater obedience, lesser voices fight harder for your attention. Do not misunderstand this. I am not saying this to make you afraid. I am saying it so you will stay awake. Fear makes the heart panic. but wisdom makes the heart watchful. Panic runs in every direction. Watchfulness stays close to me. Panic imagines disaster. Watchfulness listens for instruction. I am not inviting you into fear. I am inviting you into holy alertness. My beloved child, there are moments when you are closer than you think. Closer to clarity, closer to healing, closer to a door you prayed about, closer to a deeper life of obedience. But it is often at that very edge that distractions multiply. A small irritation becomes louder than it should. A familiar temptation returns with fresh strength. An old wound asks to be reopened. An unnecessary argument tries to pull your spirit away from peace. The enemy does not always try to stop you with one great attack. Sometimes he uses a dozen small interruptions, a careless conversation, a restless thought, a sudden pull toward old comfort, a false urgency, a fear that says you are not ready. One distraction alone may seem harmless, but many small distractions can slowly turn your feet away from the path I am lighting. That is why I tell you to guard your attention. Your attention is a doorway. What you keep looking at will shape what you keep believing. What you keep feeding will grow stronger. What you keep entertaining will begin to speak with more authority. My child, you cannot walk into a sacred season while giving your whole mind to every passing noise. As it is written in 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8, "Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary walks about like a roaring lion seeking whom he may devour." My beloved child, vigilance is not anxiety. It is clear sight. It is a heart that refuses to sleep when the hour requires listening. It is the wisdom to say, "This may look small, but I will not let it pull me away from obedience." Breakthrough is not only a door opening. Breakthrough is also a test of what you will carry through that door. Will you carry peace, or will you carry panic? Will you carry obedience, or will you carry negotiation? Will you carry my voice, or will you carry the noise that tried to distract you just before the shift came? This is why certain temptations become stronger near the edge of change. The old pattern wants one more agreement. The old fear wants one more seat at the table. The old shame wants one more chance to rename you. The old delay wants one more excuse to sound reasonable. But my child, I have already called you higher. Do not step backward when I am calling you forward. Remember this, not every open thing is from me. When you are close to something, holy counterfeits may appear. They may look easier, faster, more comfortable, more flattering, or more immediately rewarding. But a counterfeit door often asks you to leave peace behind. It asks you to ignore conviction. It asks you to move quickly without prayer. It asks you to trade obedience for relief. My voice will not lead you to violate the truth I have already spoken. My blessing will not require you to abandon your soul. My breakthrough will not ask you to become less awake, less honest, less humble, or less surrendered. When a door invites you to ignore me in order to enter it, that door is not the one I prepared. My beloved child, this is why discernment matters. Do not be impressed by everything that moves quickly. Do not be captured by everything that feels urgent. Do not believe every opportunity simply because it looks like an answer. Bring it before me. Ask for peace. Ask for wisdom. Ask whether the fruit carries life or only excitement. Excitement fades. My peace remains. You have asked for a new season, but a new season requires a guarded heart. If your heart remains open to every old voice, the old voice will try to follow you into the new place. If you do not close certain doors within you, may walk through an outer door and still carry the same bondage. That is why I am not only opening ways before you, I am teaching you to guard what is within you. When you are close to breakthrough, protect your words. Do not speak defeat over what I am forming. Protect your peace. Do not give it away to every conflict. Protect your obedience. Do not let delay return in a softer form. Protect your time. Do not let lesser things consume the strength needed for what matters. Protect your heart. Do not let bitterness sit where faith must grow. My child, some battles are won by refusing the distraction. You do not always need to argue, explain, respond, chase, or prove. Sometimes obedience looks like staying focused. Sometimes victory looks like not turning your head when an old voice calls. Sometimes breakthrough is protected by quiet faithfulness, by returning to prayer, by saying no to what once pulled you away. Do not rush past this warning. A person can be near a gate and still miss it by chasing a sound from another road. A heart can be near freedom and still return to chains because the chains felt familiar. So slow down inside. Ask me what is trying to take your focus. Ask me what voice has become too loud. Ask me what I am protecting in you right now. I will answer with patience, and I will teach you how to choose the path of life. If these words are touching your heart, let this be your declaration: I will stay awake. Say it when distraction becomes loud. Say it when old patterns return. Say it when a counterfeit door appears. Say it because the season ahead requires a heart that is alert, surrendered, and anchored in my voice. Stay with me, my beloved child. You are not alone at this edge. I am not warning you because I expect you to fail. I am warning you because I am near, because I see both the door and the danger, because I love you enough to teach you how to walk wisely. Breakthrough and danger often stand close together, but danger does not have the final word when you remain close to me. The closer you stay, the clearer you hear. The clearer you hear, the steadier you walk. And in the next part, I will show you the ancient pattern of how I have always spoken, loved, warned, shown mercy, and called my children into purpose. My beloved child, now that I have shown you the ancient pattern of my love, warning, mercy, and purpose, I want you to look at Lot with awakened eyes. Do not see him only as a figure from long ago. See him as a mirror, because his story carries a truth for your present moment. Grace can open the way, but you must move when grace speaks. Lot was living in a place that had become dangerous. Around him were patterns, voices, choices, and ways of living that had drifted far from life. Yet the danger did not appear to him in its full weight at first. That is how danger often works, my child. It becomes familiar before it becomes obvious. It surrounds the soul little by little until what should trouble the heart begins to feel normal. I sent warning before destruction came. I sent messengers before the final hour arrived. I did not wait until there was no path left. I did not wait until the fire was already falling. I moved ahead of danger because that is how mercy works. Mercy does not merely comfort after the wound. Mercy often speaks before the wound becomes deeper. My beloved child, understand this clearly. The warning given to Lot was not proof that I hated him. It was proof that I intended to spare him. If I had wanted him lost, I would have remained silent. If I had desired destruction, I would not have opened an exit. The very presence of warning was the presence of grace. So it is with you. When I warn you, do not call it rejection. When I stir uneasiness in your spirit, do not call it inconvenience. When I close a door, slow your steps, or make a certain path feel heavy, do not assume I am against you. I may be opening a way out before you understand why you need it. Lot had to respond. The warning alone did not carry his feet. Grace opened the door, but obedience had to walk through it. My word made the way clear, but movement was still required. My beloved child, this is where many hearts struggle. They want grace to rescue without requiring response. They want warning to be gentle enough to ignore. They want mercy to remain available while they keep negotiating with delay. But grace is not an invitation to remain asleep. Grace is the hand reaching toward you while there is still time to move. Grace says, come out. Grace says, do not stay where your soul is being numbed. Grace says, do not look back as if bondage were home. Grace says, leave what I am removing and trust the road I am opening. As it is written in Genesis chapter 19, the messengers urged Lot to rise and leave. They did not tell him to think about it. They did not tell him to wait until every feeling was settled. They did not tell him to stay until the place felt dangerous enough to justify leaving. They urged him because timing mattered. There are moments when timing matters. Some instructions are not meant to be stored for later. Some exits are not meant to be studied endlessly. Some doors of mercy are meant to be entered while they are open. I say it so you will stop treating every holy stirring as something that can wait. My beloved child, you have sometimes lingered. You have felt the call to leave a habit but stayed near it. You have sensed that a relationship environment pattern or way of thinking was weakening your spirit, but you continued to explain it away. You have felt me say, come out, and you answered, let me wait a little longer. I know why. Leaving is not easy when the familiar has become part of your routine. Even unhealthy places can feel safe when they are known. Even painful patterns can feel normal when they have surrounded you for years. But familiarity does not make something holy. Comfort does not make something safe. Length of time does not make bondage your identity. Lot also had to leave without carrying the old place in his heart. That is why the instruction not to look back matters. Looking back is not only turning the head, it can be the heart still longing for what I am delivering it from. It can be the mind romanticizing what once damaged it. It can be the soul saying maybe the old place was not so bad. My child, when I deliver you, do not keep building altars to what held you. Do not keep rehearsing the old comfort as if obedience stole from you. Do not let nostalgia repaint danger in softer colors. Some things you miss were also things I had to remove so you could live. As it is written in Luke chapter 17 verse 32, remember Lot's wife. This is not a sentence meant to terrify you. It is a loving warning. Do not let your heart be divided when I am calling you forward. Do not turn back to what I have made clear you must leave. Do not look with longing at the very thing mercy is pulling you from. My beloved child, your escape may look different from Lot's. You may not be leaving a city. You may be leaving an old agreement with fear. You may be leaving a cycle of delay. You may be leaving a hidden compromise. You may be leaving the need for approval, the habit of self, blame, the comfort of distraction, or a spiritual sleep that has made you less responsive to my voice. Whatever it is, move when grace opens the way. Do not wait until the consequences become louder. Do not wait until your peace is completely drained. Do not wait until the path is burning behind you. Respond while my voice is clear. Respond while the door of mercy is open. Respond while your heart is still able to feel the stirring. If these words are touching your heart, let this be your declaration: I will move with grace. Say it when you know I am calling you out. Say it when the old place asks you to stay. Say it when fear tells you that obedience is too uncertain. Say it because grace is not only a covering, it is also a doorway. Stay with me, my beloved child. Lot teaches you that warning is mercy, and mercy must be answered. He teaches you that an open way still requires moving feet. He teaches you that looking back can endanger what grace is trying to save. Do not linger where I have called you to leave. Do not cling to what I have warned you about. Do not confuse my patience with permission to remain unchanged. I am opening a way because I love you. Move when grace opens the way. And in the next part, I will show you through Elijah and the widow that obedience will sometimes look beyond logic, but what seems unreasonable to the natural mind can become the very path of provision in my hands. My beloved child, now that you have learned from Lot to move, when grace opens the way, I want you to look at Elijah and the widow with an awakened heart. Their story will teach you something your natural mind may resist. Obedience often goes beyond logic. It does not always contradict wisdom, but it will often rise higher than what human reasoning can explain. Elijah had been fed by a brook in a dry season. Water flowed there. Ravens brought provision there. To the natural eye, that place looked like safety. It looked like proof that my hand was present. Yet there came a time when I told him to leave. Sometimes I call you away from a place that once carried provision, not because it was false, but because its season has ended. Many hearts struggle here. They cling to what once worked because they fear the unknown. They say, this place helped me before, so I must remain here forever. This relationship once comforted me, so I must never release it. This habit once helped me survive, so I must keep it close. But my beloved child, yesterday's provision can become tomorrow's limitation if you refuse to hear my voice when I say move. Elijah had to trust me beyond the brook. He had to believe that I was not limited to one stream, one method, one location, or one familiar pattern. I was not the God of the brook only. I was the God who could lead him from the brook to a widow's house and still sustain him there. As it is written in 1 Kings chapter 17, I commanded a widow to provide for Elijah. Notice the tenderness and the mystery in that instruction. I did not send him to a palace. I did not send him to a wealthy table. I sent him to a widow who had almost nothing left. To reason, this looked impossible. To faith, it was an appointed place. My beloved child, my instructions do not always look impressive at first. Sometimes the place I send you looks too small. Sometimes the person I use looks unlikely. Sometimes the resource I point to looks insufficient. Sometimes the next step seems beneath what you expected. But do not despise what looks small when my word is upon it. The widow was gathering sticks. She had a little flour and a little oil. In her mind, she was preparing for an ending. But I was preparing a miracle. She saw her last meal. I saw a season of sustained provision. She saw emptiness approaching. I saw obedience opening a channel that lack could not close. My child, you often look at what remains and call it not enough. A small strength, a small opportunity, a small gift, a small amount of courage, a small opening. But if I speak over it, do not judge it by size alone. The question is not whether it looks enough in your hand. The question is whether it is surrendered into mine. The widow's obedience did not make sense to fear. Fear would have said, protect the last bit. Hold it tightly. Do not risk. Think of yourself first. Wait until you have extra before you trust. But obedience listened to another voice. Obedience heard the word and moved, even while the situation still looked impossible. I am not teaching you recklessness. I am teaching you trust. Recklessness ignores my voice and acts from impulse. Trust listens carefully and follows even when the step is costly. Do not confuse faith with carelessness. True faith is not wild panic. True faith is attentive obedience. My beloved child, there will be moments when I ask you to release what you are holding too tightly. Not to make you empty, but to show you that your hand is not your source. I may ask you to forgive when bitterness feels justified. I may ask you to give where wisdom and love agree. I may ask you to begin while the resources look small. I may ask you to step into a path that does not yet reveal the whole provision. Do not wait for everything to become abundant before you obey. Some abundance is released after the step. The flour did not multiply, while the widow only stared at it. The oil did not become a stream while she remained frozen in fear. Provision met obedience on the road of trust. This is hard for the natural mind because the natural mind wants guarantees first. It wants to see the whole supply before it offers the first act of faith. It wants to feel safe before surrender. It wants every outcome explained before movement. But my beloved child, if you demand complete certainty before obedience, you will often miss the place where miracles begin. The widow did not understand the full season ahead. Elijah did not control the method. Both had to trust my voice more than their visible circumstances. And that is what I am teaching you now. My voice must become more real to you than the shortage you see. My instruction must become weightier than the fear you feel. My promise must become stronger than the calculation that says there is no way. I know you have places in your life that look like a nearly empty jar. A part of your hope feels low. A part of your strength feels thin. A part of your faith feels stretched. But I am not asking you to pretend the jar is full. I am asking you to place the jar before me. I am asking you to let my word touch what seems insufficient. As it is written in Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. My child, your understanding is not useless, but it is not high enough to lead you where only my wisdom can take you. Reason can count the flour. Faith can hear the promise. Reason can measure the oil. Faith can obey the instruction. If these words are touching your heart, let this be your declaration. I will obey beyond logic. Say it when the next step feels small. Say it when the instruction feels uncomfortable. Say it when the familiar brook dries up and I call you to a place you did not expect. Say it because obedience is the doorway where my provision often begins. Stay with me, my beloved child. Elijah and the widow teach you that I can sustain through unlikely places. They teach you that little is not little when I bless it. They teach you that obedience can open what fear would have kept closed. Do not cling to the old stream when I am leading you forward. Do not judge the widow's house by appearance. Do not call your last oil useless when my word is near it. Listen and obey. And in the next part, I will show you why comfort must not keep you from the miracle, because what feels safe today may become the very place that keeps you from stepping into what I am preparing next. My beloved child, now that you have learned from Elijah and the widow that obedience can go beyond logic, I must speak to another place where many hearts become trapped. Do not let comfort keep you from the miracle. Comfort can look harmless. It can sound gentle. It can tell you that staying where you are is wisdom when deep inside you know I am calling you to move. I know why comfort attracts you. You have been tired. You have been stretched. You have carried responsibilities, disappointments, and questions that made your spirit long for something familiar. After a long season of pressure, the familiar can feel like shelter. Even a small corner of control can feel safer than a wide road of faith. But my beloved child, not every safe feeling comes from me. Some safety is only fear finding a soft chair. Some comfort is only stagnation dressed in warm clothing. Some familiar places were once useful for survival, but now they are keeping you from growth. I do not call you out because I want to take peace from you. I call you out because I want to give you life. Comfort often says, "This is enough. Do not ask for more. Do not risk again. Do not hope too deeply. Do not obey too quickly. Do not step where you cannot calculate the result." Comfort does not always speak like an enemy. Sometimes it speaks like a friend who wants to protect you from disappointment. But if it keeps you from my voice, it is not protection. It is a quiet chain. My child, miracles often begin outside the borders of what feels manageable. Not outside my care, but outside your control. If you only follow me where every detail is already visible, you will never learn the depth of trust I am inviting you into. If you only obey where nothing can be lost, your faith will remain small and carefully guarded. As it is written in Hebrews chapter 11, verse 8, Abraham obeyed when he was called to go out to the place he would receive as an inheritance, and he went out not knowing where he was going. My beloved child, obedience did not wait for a complete map. It moved because my voice was enough. That is the kind of trust I am forming in you. Not blind recklessness, not careless decisions, not foolish movement born from emotion. I am forming a listening trust, a trust that can hear me clearly and step even when the old place still feels easier. I am teaching you that certainty is not your source. I am. There are places in your life where comfort has been asking you to remain. A routine that keeps you distracted. A habit that soothes pain but never heals it. A relationship pattern that feels familiar but keeps you small. A fear that has lived with you so long you started calling it discernment. A delay that feels responsible but is actually disobedience wearing a calm face. I am not exposing these things to accuse you. I am exposing them so you can choose freedom. A cage can be decorated and still be a cage. A room can be warm and still be too small for the calling on your life. A path can be familiar and still lead you in circles. My beloved child, I did not keep you alive so you could build a comfortable prison and call it peace. The miracle I am preparing may require you to release the old grip. It may require you to make the phone call, begin the prayer, tell the truth, forgive, leave the pattern, change the habit, start the work, set the boundary, or return to the instruction you have delayed. The step may not feel large to others, but heaven sees what it cost your heart. Do not wait until fear gives permission. Fear rarely gives permission for faith. Do not wait until comfort agrees. Comfort will usually vote for what is familiar. Do not wait until every person understands. People often understand only after fruit appears. Move because I have spoken. Move because obedience is life. Move because the miracle is connected to the step I am placing before you. My beloved child, I know stepping out can make your heart tremble. When Peter stepped onto the water, the waves were still there. The wind had not disappeared. The scene did not become easy before the step was taken. Yet for a moment his feet stood where logic said they could not stand because his eyes were on the one who called him. I am not asking you to stare at the waves. I am asking you to keep your eyes on my voice. The waves may be responsibility. The wind may be uncertainty. The darkness may be what others think. But if I am calling, then the safest place is not always the boat. Sometimes the safest place is the step of obedience that looks impossible without me. Comfort would have kept Peter seated. Faith let him move. Comfort would have said, "Stay where the wood is solid beneath you." Faith heard, "Come." My child, there are moments when my come will challenge what you call stable. Not to destroy you, but to show you that stability is not found in the boat, it is found in me. I do not despise comfort when it is rest from me. There is holy rest, and I want you to receive it. But there is also a false comfort that numbs the soul and delays obedience. Holy rest restores you for the next faithful step. False comfort keeps you from taking the step at all. Learn the difference. You have asked me for signs, but sometimes the sign is the stirring that will not leave you. Sometimes the sign is the unease you feel when you try to settle back into what I have already outgrown in you. Sometimes the sign is the repeated invitation to rise, pray, forgive, begin, release, or trust. Do not demand thunder when I have already placed a steady lamp at your feet. Follow the light I have given, and let it lead you forward today. If these words are touching your heart, let this be your declaration: I will step beyond comfort. Say it when the familiar tries to hold you. Say it when fear calls itself safety. Say it when my instruction feels larger than your confidence. Say it because the miracle will not always meet you where you are sitting. Sometimes it meets you where you obey. Stay with me, my beloved child. I am not calling you into uncertainty alone. I am calling you into a deeper certainty of my presence. I am not asking you to abandon wisdom. I am asking you to stop letting comfort rule where my voice should lead. Do not let comfort keep you from the miracle. And in the next part I will show you through Saul why partial obedience is dangerous, because a heart can appear close to my will while still holding back the very thing I asked it to surrender. My beloved child, now that I have warned you not to let comfort keep you from the miracle, I must speak to you through the life of Saul. Look at him carefully, not with judgment but with humility. His story was written so you would understand the danger of partial obedience. A heart can stand close to my instruction and still miss the life within it if it chooses only the parts that feel convenient. Saul was chosen. Saul was lifted. Saul was given a place of responsibility that many people would have admired. He had opportunity, position, and the appearance of strength. But my beloved child, outward elevation cannot replace inward surrender. A person may look appointed in public while slowly becoming divided in private. This is where the danger begins. Not always with open rebellion, not always with loud refusal. Sometimes it begins when the heart starts editing my word. It keeps the part that feels manageable and leaves the part that feels costly. It obeys enough to appear obedient, but not enough to be surrendered. It moves close enough to quiet conviction, but not close enough to please my heart. Saul did not always ignore everything I said. That is what made the danger more subtle. He did part of what was commanded. He could point to his action and say, "I obeyed," but he kept back what I told him to release. He made room for his own reasoning inside my instruction. He turned obedience into a negotiation, then tried to call it faithfulness. My child, partial obedience often sounds reasonable. It says I did most of it. It says this part should be enough. It says, surely God understands why I kept this. It says the situation was complicated. It says people expected something different. It says I had to be practical. But when I have spoken clearly, excuses cannot make disobedience holy. I am not asking you for cold perfection. I know you are human. I know you tremble. I know obedience can feel costly. I know the pressure of people fear timing and uncertainty, but I am asking for a whole heart. A heart that does not intentionally hold back what I have asked it to surrender. A heart that does not decorate delay and call it wisdom. As it is written in 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 22, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to listen is better than the fat of rams. My beloved child Saul wanted the appearance of devotion while keeping control. He wanted to offer sacrifice from what he had been told to release. But I do not desire religious gestures that cover an unwilling heart. I desire obedience that comes from trust. You can sacrifice time, words, energy, and outward effort, yet still avoid the one instruction I gave you. You can say prayers while refusing the step you already know is right. You can speak about surrender while secretly protecting the thing I asked you to lay down. You can look active and still be resisting me in the hidden place. This is why I am speaking firmly. I do not want you to lose your way through small compromises that feel harmless at first. A small leak can sink a large boat if it is ignored long enough. A small crack in a foundation can widen under pressure. A small agreement with fear can become a pattern of disobedience if you keep feeding it. Saul feared the people. He cared how he appeared. He wanted to keep approval. My child, fear of people can make obedience incomplete. It asks, what will they think? What will I lose? How will I be seen? Will they misunderstand me? But obedience asks a deeper question. Father, what have you said? When the voice of people becomes louder than my voice, the heart begins to bend in dangerous ways. It still wants to look faithful, but it also wants to be accepted. It wants my blessing, but not the cost of standing apart. It wants purpose, but also applause. My beloved child, you cannot build destiny on approval. Destiny is sustained by faithfulness to my voice. Look honestly within. Where have you obeyed halfway? Where have you released the visible thing while keeping the hidden attachment? Where have you changed the language, but not the pattern? Where have you stopped the outward action, but continued feeding the inward desire? I ask not to condemn you, but to awaken you before compromise grows deeper. Partial obedience can appear peaceful because it avoids immediate discomfort, but it carries division inside. One part of the heart says yes, while another part keeps negotiating. One hand opens while the other hand hides something behind the back. My child, divided obedience cannot produce whole freedom. I want you whole. Whole in hearing, whole in surrender, whole in trust, whole in the quiet place where no one is watching. I want you free from the burden of pretending that almost obedience is the same as obedience. I want you to stop living with one foot in my instruction and one foot in the old comfort that keeps pulling you back. This does not mean you will never struggle. It means you will stop defending the struggle as if it belongs on the throne. Bring me the fear, bring me the hesitation, bring me the attachment, bring me the part of you that still wants control. I will meet you with mercy, but do not call mercy permission to remain divided. Do not be afraid to name what has been partial. Naming it is not failure, it is the doorway to healing. When you bring the hidden half into my light, I do not crush you, I cleanse you. I teach you how to surrender not only the obvious thing, but the root beneath it, the reason you kept holding on for so very long. My beloved child, the cost of obedience may feel heavy, but the cost of disobedience is heavier. Obedience may ask you to surrender something now. Disobedience may slowly take peace, clarity, sensitivity, and years of direction. I warn you because I see farther. I call you because I want to spare you unnecessary loss. If these words are touching your heart, let this be your declaration: I will obey completely. Say it with humility. Say it knowing you need my grace. Say it not to prove strength, but to invite my help into the places where your heart has been divided. Stay with me, my beloved child. Saul teaches you that being chosen does not remove the need for surrender. Position does not replace obedience. Sacrifice does not cover resistance. Appearance does not satisfy my heart. Do not repeat Saul's pattern. Do not keep what I ask you to release. Do not call partial obedience wisdom. Choose the whole yes. Choose the surrendered step. Choose my voice above approval. And in the next part I will show you Nineveh, where warning became mercy, and I will lead you into a prayer of awakening, repentance, obedience, and purpose, so your heart can respond while grace is still calling you forward. My beloved child, now that Saul has shown you the danger of partial obedience, I want you to look at Nineveh and understand the mercy hidden inside warning. Nineveh had wandered far from life. The city was full of pride, violence, corruption, and spiritual blindness. By human judgment, it looked too far gone. But my child, I still sent a warning. I did not send Jonah because I desired destruction. I sent him because I was opening a door before judgment became final. My warning was not the sound of hatred. It was mercy speaking loudly enough to interrupt a city that had forgotten how to listen. If I had wanted only to end them, I would have remained silent. Understand this deeply. When I warn, I am not withdrawing love. I am extending mercy. When I speak urgently, I am not trying to crush you. I am trying to reach you before another step takes you farther from life. Nineveh was not spared because it had always done right. Nineveh was spared because it responded. My beloved child, response still matters. A warning heard but ignored cannot protect the one who refuses to move. A message received but dismissed cannot awaken the heart that keeps choosing sleep. But when Nineveh heard, something shifted. The king humbled himself. The people turned. The city did not argue with the warning. It did not decorate sin with excuses. It did not say later, another day when we feel ready. It responded while mercy was still calling. That is what I am asking of you now. Do not wait for the consequences to become louder before you take my voice seriously. Do not wait until the path is painful before you admit that I already spoke. Do not wait until your heart is hardened by another season of delay. My beloved child, respond while grace is near. As it is written in Jonah chapter 3, the people of Nineveh believed God. Let those words rest inside you. They believed. They did not need a polished explanation. They did not need every detail of the future. They believed the warning enough to change direction. Their belief became movement. Their humility became a doorway. Their repentance became the place where mercy met them. This is the prayer I want to awaken in you. Not a prayer made to impress, not a prayer spoken only with the lips, a prayer from the deep place where truth has touched you. A prayer that says, Father, I have heard you. I will not keep delaying. I will not keep pretending. I will not keep calling comfort peace when you are calling me deeper. Pray with your heart, my beloved child. Father, awaken me where I have grown numb. Awaken the places that learned to hear without responding. Awaken the hunger that disappointment tried to bury. Awaken the tenderness that pain tried to harden. Awaken the obedience that fear has been postponing. Father, forgive me for the times I treated your voice as something I could place behind my convenience. Forgive me for negotiating with what I already knew was true. Forgive me for partial obedience, for delayed obedience, for selective obedience, and for hiding behind reasons that sounded wise while my heart resisted surrender. Wash me from the habit of saying later. Break the agreement I made with spiritual sleep. Remove the false peace that comes from avoidance. Teach me to recognize your warning as love. Teach me to hear correction without running into shame. Teach me to receive urgency without panic and guidance without resistance. My beloved child, I hear that prayer. Even when it trembles, I hear it. Even when you do not know how to say everything clearly, I know the turning of your heart. I do not demand perfect words. I desire a sincere return. The prayer of awakening is not the end of the journey. It is the opening of the door. Now pray again. Father, give me courage to move when you open the way. Give me discernment to recognize counterfeit doors. Give me strength to leave what you have warned me about. Give me humility to obey before I understand every detail. Give me a heart that loves your voice more than comfort, approval, habit, or fear. My child, this is where awakening becomes real. Not only in emotion, but in direction. Not only in tears, but in steps. Not only in feeling touched, but in living differently when the message ends and the ordinary day returns. I want your life to carry the evidence of what you have heard. Do not leave this moment unchanged. Do not let the old noise steal what has been stirred within you. Do not return to the same patterns as if this warning had no weight. Let Nineveh teach you that a whole direction can change when a heart believes and responds. There is mercy for you. There is still room to turn. There is still grace to begin again. There is still strength for the obedient step. You are not beyond my reach. You are not too late for awakening. You are not too damaged for purpose. You are not too tired for renewal. I am still calling, and my call is proof that I am still drawing you toward life. As it is written in Lamentations chapter 3, my mercies are new every morning. My beloved child, receive that mercy, but do not use it to delay. Use it to rise. Use it to return. Use it to obey. Mercy is not a bed for spiritual sleep. Mercy is the hand that lifts you into life again. If these words are touching your heart, let this be your declaration. I will answer God's call. Say it with humility. Say it with trust. Say it because tonight is not random. Say it because the warning is mercy, the correction is love, and the call is still open before you. Now let this final prayer settle over you. Father, keep my heart awake. Keep my ears open to your voice. Keep my feet ready for obedience. Keep my spirit free from old delay. Lead me out of patterns that drain life. Lead me into truth, purpose, humility, courage, and surrender. Let my life become a response to your mercy. My beloved child, I have spoken because I love you. I have warned because I see. I have called because purpose still waits before you. Do not fear the strength of my voice. Hear the love beneath it. Do not fear the seriousness of this moment. Receive the mercy inside it. Nineveh teaches you that warning can become a doorway to restoration. Saul teaches you not to obey halfway. Elijah and the widow teach you to trust beyond logic. Lot teaches you to move when grace opens the way. And now I am teaching you to answer. Rise with an awakened heart. Walk with a listening spirit. Obey with a whole yes. The message has reached you for a reason, and the next step is now in your hands. I am with you, my beloved child. Respond and live today with steady courage and peace.